Good, happy Friday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's get started. First up, we begin with breaking news. Get inland. Mass evacuation as powerful Irma nears Florida. Irma is a deadly Category 4 storm churning in the Atlantic with 155 mile per hour sustained winds is expected to make landfall in Florida on Sunday morning. Hurricane warnings are in place for Jupiter Inlet south around the Florida Peninsula, the Boynton Beach, as well as Florida Keys, Lake Okeechobee, and Florida Bay. The storm killed at least 11 people as it devastated small northeastern Caribbean islands such as Barbuda and left hundreds of thousands of customers in Puerto Rico without power. The following watches and warnings are in effect for Florida. And your latest 4:55 p.m. hurricane warning extended northward. Hurricane warnings have been extended northward for the east coast of Florida to Sebastian Inlet and along the west coast of the peninsula northward to Anna Marie Island. The hurricane watch has been extended northward along the west coast of Florida to Swanee River. The storm surge watch has been issued north of Vince to Anclote River, including Tampa Bay from Ponce Inlet to the Flagler-Voslet County line. And we will keep you updated on the latest of this storm as it gets closer to Florida. In news around New Hampshire and Boston and Maine now. Shaheen meets with immigration officials over possible deportation. U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen, Democrat, is advocating for several New Hampshire families who are facing deportation. The senator met Friday with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials to discuss the timeline for when the immigrants might have to leave. A prayer group held a village outside the federal building in Manchester while Shaheen and a group of Indonesian immigrants met with ICE officials. The immigrants were making their regular check-in, but this time some were told to bring a plane ticket and arrangements to leave the country. The group is made up of several immigrant families who have been seeking asylum in the United States. An ICE official said that back in 2009, some members of the group were ordered to leave, but they could stay in the country under what's called an order of supervision while they exhausted all their legal avenues. Some of the families attended the Marthan Indonesia United Church. No one was deported Friday. It's unclear as when the deportation will take place, as they are being dealt with on a case-by-case basis, but officials said they could start next month. DA suspends prosecution against man seeking new trial for 1982 fire that killed 8. People are suspending their fight to keep a man in prison in connection to a 1982 arson that killed 8 people. 3 adults and 5 children perished in the March 5th, 1982 fire. All the victims died of carbon monoxide poisoning and smoke inhalation, prosecutors said. Prosecutors said allegedly that Victor Rosero and 2 other men who have since died set the fire as payback for a bad drug deal involving one of the building residents. A year after the fire, Rosero was found guilty of arson and 8 counts of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to 8 concurrent life sentence for the murders of 18 to 20 years for arson. Rosero served 32 years in prison for the convictions until he was released by a judge in July of 2014, following his 4th motion for a new trial. Friday, Middlesex County District Attorney Marianne Ryan submitted a document notifying the court that her office plans to suspend an active prosecution of the case. Known as Noli Pascual, the decision does not acquit Rosero of the charge, but it does acknowledge that the Commonwealth cannot prove elements of the offense beyond any reasonable debate at this time. Rosero has been free on bail since the motion for a new trial was granted. L.L. Bean recalls toddler fleece pullovers due to choking hazard. L.L. Bean is recalling 400 toddler sweater fleece pullovers because of a safety concern. The company said the snap on the front of the pullover and can come off, posing a choking hazard for children. The pullovers were sold between April 1st to August 4th in 2017. They have manufacture dates of 2/7 on the product label in the neck line. Anyone who purchased the pullover is asked to stop using it immediately and return it to L.L. Bean or call 800-555-9717. And we will share that number for you in the article as well. And now let's take a look at your business news and see how your stock market closed for this Friday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your S&P 500 index closed in the red and went down. Your Nasdaq closed in the red and went down. RUSS 2K closed in the green and went up, and VIX closed in the green and went up. Stocks fall for the week after insurance take a hit on Irma risk. Major U.S. equality indexes posted weekly declines as Hurricane Irma barreled toward the East Coast, while interest rates harped financial stocks. Hurricane Irma is going to devastate the United States, FEMA chief says. South Florida is bracing for a major storm surge and powerful winds as Hurricane Irma weakened to a Category 4 as it makes its way toward the U.S. mainland. Irma was downgraded from a Category 5 to a Category 4 storm early Friday morning. As of 5 p.m. Eastern Time, the storm was moving at 12 miles per hour and located 345 miles southeast of Miami. The National Weather Service cautioned that Irma is still extremely dangerous, with maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour, which are strong enough to uproot trees, bring down power poles, rip off the roofs, and some interior walls of well-built frame homes. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday evening. Good night, everyone. Bye.